BioShock was developed and released by 2K Games on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC in 2007. I first played BioShock when it was released on the Xbox 360. I was fresh out of college, and the interesting box art was tempting me during my part-time job at Circuit City. But Microsoft made available a demo on Xbox Live, and that's really what did it. Just after playing that demo, it was decided I needed to pick up this game. The game is a first-person shooter with some RPG elements, allowing players to unlock certain abilities and equip them and level them up throughout the game. So not only do you have various weapons you can pick up, but you also do things like shoot electricity or fire from your fingertips. Doing so uses Eve, a resource you can find in hypodermic needles throughout the game. Atom is the currency used to unlock those abilities in the first place. Otherwise, standard money is used for things like ammo refills and medkits. The graphics of BioShock were impressive upon its release. I remember several instances from my playthrough a decade ago, which have stuck with me, and replaying the remastered edition on PC to capture this footage has been a treat. The game looks as good as nearly any current generation game. The models hold up very well, and the new coat of paint seen in the remastered version looks great, with higher quality textures and support for true 1080p gameplay. Character models are intimidating, lighting in the levels is ominous, and the level design and design of weapons show an excellent attention to detail, being that this game is set in kind of an alternate timeline version of 1960, and the water effects have been praised since the game's original release more than 10 years ago. The music and sound effects get the same appreciation. While sometimes I find the sound effects to be a bit out of place, like the alarm system or the weird thunk after the hacking minigame ends, all in all, you see what they're going for. Again, they try to fit them in with the era in which BioShock is set. The sound effects are done with great details in mind. You know when a Big Daddy enemy is approaching. The voiceovers are fantastic, and all weapons and abilities sound just right. The music is beautiful and fits perfectly in the world the game is set in. A lot of times you'll hear licensed music in the game, but the game was also scored by Gary Shyman and is astonishingly beautiful. It's a very traditional cinematic soundtrack. You're not going to hear rock music or funk, but instead orchestral sounds that force a serious take from players. And speaking of serious, let's get into the game's story. Just for ease of demonstration, I'll show a screenshot of the digital manual from the Steam version of the remastered edition, but it basically has a quote that is also spoken by the character Andrew Ryan early in the game. So let's set the stage. The game opens up with you on a plane. The plane suddenly crashes in the middle of the ocean. By a stroke of luck, you survive the crash and are able to swim to a lighthouse nearby. Inside the lighthouse, you step into a submersible device.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
The rest of the game, more and more things get thrown at you. The internal politics, the backstory of what went wrong, a strange cast of characters seemingly all out for themselves. To be honest, I'm even tempted to spoil the ending. I won't do that, but I'm not sure if it's because I was in my mid-20s and still young enough to be surprised by the kind of ending this game threw at me, or if it's because the ending was genuinely surprising. But all I can say is that I feel strongly that people should absolutely work their way to the end and complete BioShock if they've never done it. It'll have you questioning the way that you play every single game for years to come. It's hard for me to believe that BioShock is already over 10 years old, and that it's been over 2 years since the release of the remasters. But it set in motion a beautiful trilogy, and it's the kind of game that makes you question the decisions you make as you play through the game, and even makes you question deeper things like morality and free will. All of that while still participating in a fun, action-packed, first-person RPG-like experience. It's almost as if BioShock wants to ask you for a favor. Would you kindly dive right in to our story so far? Hey everybody, thanks for watching episode number 97 of Our Story So Far TV. I'm Garrett, aka New Angel, Nuangel on Twitter. You can always send me messages over there, or just leave a comment right here on the video. It always warms my heart if you give this video a thumbs up, but if you really liked it, please feel free to share it with a friend. Maybe they'll enjoy it as well. If you enjoyed it and don't have anybody to share it with, that's okay too. There's nearly 100 episodes for you to binge watch right here. I'll also have a new episode out next Friday. Until next time, take care of yourself.